Meet me on the porch. At this point, I need everybody to meet me on the porch. I need the black women, I need the white women, and I need the black men. This is some seriously real shit that I am utterly disturbed by, and I am just tired because I don't understand why there's this major attack on black women. I was in the barbershop today, and it was a young black male come in there. He might have been between that 22 to 24 age group. Very handsome, very, very handsome. So I believe he's might have just been coming back from college or graduating or whatever the case may be, because they were happy to see him when he came in. So he sits down, and so they're just talking, what's going on? And he's giving an update. He's graduated, he's got an engineering degree. Oh my God, I'm over there on the proudness. I'm in the background. I don't know him. I'm just kind of sitting down, listening to what he's saying. So the barber begins to get filled in on him. What's been going on? This and that. And he says, I'm coming back. I'm getting married. So everybody, great. And I'm so on the side being so nosy and over there like a proud auntie. I don't even know this young man, right? So they start to kind of converse amongst each other, and they're talking. And so the young man says, yeah, I'm having a little problem. It's a lot going on because I'm marrying a white woman. And my family, they're not too happy about it. So the barber and everybody was like, oh, well, to each his own and this, that, and the other. So the barber was just kind of speaking to him, and he said, hey, where'd you meet her? And he said, oh, I met her in college. And he was like, oh, okay, because, back in the day you had all the girls. What made you decide that she was the one? Like, what made you want to marry the white girl or the white woman? No, with no disrespect. So what this young man said after that is what just literally took me out the game.
I could bet that he said something so normal, so relaxed, and it's so truthful. And instead of they going into the truth that he's saying, they're going to just say, you're just trying to say that these type of women is better than black women. Let's see if she missed the whole entire point.
As a black woman, as a black mom, in general. So he says that, he come from, of course, the hood and had a hard knock life, just with one mom and no dad, and that same shit. Like, don't nobody I hate the fact that is such a stereotype. We hate it too. So he goes off to say that when he went to college, it was a college that was mixed, but more so of a white college. And he start, meeting up with white friends, and, they introduced him to another whole world that he didn't know existed, and the young girl, she became a friend and then introduced him to their family. And when he goes over there, they're all married. The parent is married, and they have a really good home, and they do things together and they communicate. It's just a good energy, a good vibe. And this man said, I never knew this side of life. My life was always loud and chaotic and always disruptive.
I wonder who made it loud, chaotic, and always disruptive. And this is true. When you do go to college, you start hanging around different circles, you start to realize that whatever you're doing doesn't make any sense. Most people from the hood don't see much else but the hood. And people in the hood will keep you down when you're actually trying to do better. So it's all negativity. And the thing about certain women and men, they will try to keep you where they're at. Because if they don't, and you actually break the ceiling and leave, it would just prove that the problem is them. So they try to keep everybody down to say, look, nobody makes it. A man goes out there to these families and they actually experience peace and niceness and exactly what family is. I really want to figure out why she doesn't want that for that man.
The young man said, he would go over there and they would go on vacations. They would have Sunday dinners. When they had cookouts, there was no fussing, no fight, no arguing. It was just all love and vacations. I was thrown at what this young man was saying in regards to what he seen and what he witnessed being with this young lady and this new side of life. And so he said that, when he seen it, he started thinking about all of the chaos that his life was. You know, it was always baby mama drama and fussing and fighting, and they'll get together as a family and it'll be a fight, and the drunk uncles, the drunk mamas, you know, he was like, my aunt and uncles, they all on welfare and always scheming and always fussing and fighting, cussing, you know, trying to hook up with this dude and that dude. And it's just all these black women, just all that seemed like that's all I was raised up under. That's all I seen. That's all I know. And then I get to the white woman and it's different. And what he said after this is what really broke me. He said, you know, it's like when I came home the last time, he said, and I was in my family's event, it was nothing but chaos. He said the women, they in house shoes and bonnets, you know, they ghetto acting. He said, and I love them, but I don't love it. And he said, being with my white girlfriend, fiance, and her family, he said, you know what it's like? And this is what got me, ladies. He said, it's like if you're in a crowded room and you're surrounded by chaos and just everything, and everything is just chaotic and noisy and loud and disruptive, and you take some headphones and you put the headphones on and you can drown everything out, because when you put the headphones on, it's quiet and it's peace. He said, that's what my fiance is to me and her white family. That whiteness, he said, they're my headphones and they are my peace.
And that's all that guys actually want, is just peace. So a lot of women that's saying that why are black athletes going with these white women and they get rich and they want to get with a white woman. It's not that. It just so happens that men get whatever they can get. We going to look at whoever like us and we just pick out a whoever like us. And it just so happens that the culture of black women is basically saying that you need the baller. He got to have everything. And the culture of white women is more like he needs to be going on the right path. And as long as he's going on the right path, then that's somebody that you should talk to. Black women are not like that. We don't want you at your path. We want you to already have it. Or you're like the popular person. Meanwhile, they don't date that. So I can guarantee you the black women pushed him to the side. They use white women because they like to do the contrast of black and white. But it could be anybody. It could be an Asian woman. It could have been an Indian woman. It just so happens the college lifestyle. And just maybe in his school is not predominantly black. And if it is, he goes to a school where there's a lot of black women. Their families are just like that. They're probably the first generation of getting out of that mess. And then now you have to go over there and go to that mess. And then somewhere in the black culture is just like you being from the hood. You cannot leave your mess because something is wrong with you when you leave your mess. When you see rappers like Lil Durk or whoever it is, all these gangster rappers that go to jail after they've been rich for 10 plus years, it doesn't even make sense. You've been a multi-millionaire your whole adult life. Why are you still in the hood and pissy hallways toting guns? And that's because you don't want to feel like you leaving the people that you are around. And then stupid deserves stupid. And that's what he got. Stupid, right? You got everything that you asked for when you're around these people. They're like crabs in a barrel. So when he does go out there and you do see that light, because when you do go away to college, you do see that light. You see different people. You start vacationing with their families. You start to realize that this is peaceful. You can have, fun and jokes without the chaos. And then, this is the truth, when you do go to black families and you actually see that, the ones that do not have this super duper chaotic life, those are the best and those be the amazing. It's just so few of them that you can actually get because everybody's chaotic. And the culture of black people is basically everybody's for themselves. Do what you want to do. The women don't have to listen to men. I can guarantee you will go over there. When you go over there, the women actually listen to their men because they pick men that are better than them, that make better decisions than them. Over here, when you go to black culture, it's like, no, even if he did make better decisions than you got to give him hell. You got to do whatever you feel like doing. At that point, you basically not going nowhere. You want to go right, she wants to go left, and y'all end up going nowhere. Y'all just go back and forth, y'all get into an accident. That's basically what happens over here. On the other side, when the man wants to go right and the woman wants to go left, she said, I want to go left for X or Y reason. The man said, nah, we're going right for this reason. And he takes all the responsibility and accountability, and they all go right, and they end up getting to a destination. There's no car crashes over there. So that chaos is something that the guys are trying to leave. And when you are the guy that leaves your family, you go to college, especially if you're smart, you want to leave that. I don't want to go backwards. And then everybody looking at it like, oh, you just got a white woman. But they'll never, ever sit down and be like, let's compare and contrast the white woman and the black women that he had access to that was in his life, and do not compare just to skin color. compare exactly who they are, exactly what lifestyle they portraying that they can give him, and how much of a headache each one of them would be. It's never equivalent.
He said, and then black women in my black side of the family, they are the noise. They are the chaos. They are the noise.
And they are the noise. And then the sad part is they want to be the noise. It's not even like they want to do better. It's not like they want to be quiet. They just want to be the noise. And in fact, if you don't like the noise, then something is wrong with you. And that's just culture. They always try to blame this black stuff. They always try to mix white people into it. White people have nothing to do with this. This is a black problem. And then when you're raised by solely women that's chaotic and emotional, then you get a whole bunch of chaotic and emotional men. So therefore, it's like, it's a bad pattern. Before the 1960s, black families was not like that. In fact, black on black crime was like unheard of back then. Everybody was cool and everybody had bigger problems because we had families and unity. But now the black woman said, we don't need family. We don't need unity. I'm going to be by myself. I'm going to do everything by myself. I'm going to raise my kids by myself. F the father. I'm going to sleep with whoever I want to. And then now we get this result and we see exactly what's happening. Shout out to that young man. I hope everything works out good for him.
My nigga.